Smiling Faces, the podcast, is a Defiantly Me production. To learn more, visit them on Instagram at Defiantly Me Productions.
I loving web feet toting Micah Bryan to producer extraordinaire.
Web feet toting is crazy.
It's diabolical is what it is. Because none of it is true.
But it's already on the airwaves.
Everything on the internet
Lucky I have editor control.
He gonna keep it in. Welcome back to episode 23 of Smiling Faces, the podcast. I'm Victoria Dunn.
And I'm Jess Anguiano, and we are executive producers of Smiling Faces, the hit show about two girls who discover they are dating the same guy while working at a toxically positive spin studio.
On this podcast, we provide you unfiltered conversations about dating, heartbreak, revenge, and living your best life.
I would venture to say definitely unfiltered. I'm leaning into the unfiltered, I think.
Oh, I've been doing unfiltered. Were you not?
Look, the truth is, here's the fun thing after we record and then we go, but you're going to cut that part out, right, producer Mike? He's like, oh, yeah. And next thing you know, there it is, lying on the floor.
Because some of the stuff you want me to cut out is too real. I was like, oh, no, that's some real shit. I'm going to leave that shit in. She'll just deal with it.
Let him in. Let him into the process.
You can see it all. You can see our whole process. I mean, that's the whole point, right? Like we're literally giving you live updates about where we're at in the production schedule and then in the schedule of our dating life, which is...
Ooh, the schedule. Wow. I'm not scheduling them. Not, what's my friend? Oh, well, she's now married, but we joked with her. She was Tinderella affectionately to us, because she was stacking dates until she found her husband. It was a sight to behold. She lived in a condo that was above. It was one of those mixed use condos. So the bottom floor had different bars and stuff. And then she was living upstairs and she was just like 3 dates a night, just piling them on. And was just like,
girl.
She was like, I go to this bar and do like a little early thing. And I go over here for dinner. And then I have one day with that guy for dinner. And then she'd have like a post dinner drinks with a different dude. She was plowing through dates until she finally found her king.
It is a numbers game.
Mm-hmm. Happily married, 3 kids. They're thriving.
Does he know about this? Was he part of the system?
He was a part of the system and he made it out. He made it out of the rotation.
See, this is okay. We're going to talk about production schedules in a minute, but this is my point. This is the deal. Gentlemen, we want you to win, but also you have to take into account that the woman that you're out there looking for is literally stacking dates because she understands the mathematical science of finding a good one. She gets her odds. So she stacks 3 deep because she knows she's got to cycle through them in and out. You've got 20 minutes to lock it down. Fellas, get in there. Like this
we can catch a vibe.
This is what we're looking for. We need the rising to the occasion. The men who come through and women, the partners, because I don't want to be, because
like
women
the
be flaking out
and
there
the thems. Too. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was
women
friends with
too.
One, a woman that was, we don't talk anymore, so it's fine. But I would have guy friends be like, ooh, what's up with her? I'm like, you don't want to. I would straight up tell them like, don't date her.
Because the ones who are dedicated, the ones who are serious, I mean, this is how you land it. That woman she had a system. She built a plan. She was organized. Honestly, this is the theme of the entire episode today.
Totally. I will say you did make it sound, you made dating sound like casting, which not very dissimilar. Because you know how they always say casting directors really want you to win?
Yes.
We really want you to win. We want to cast you. We want to give you the part.
Single person I swipe right on, every single man I make eyes with across from a bar, every single one, I'm like, come on, buddy, you can do it. Have just like a modicum of class. You can do it. Like it takes the bar is so low. It takes so very little. And I'm not saying you got to be chill. I'm just saying like, if you're out there in the world listening to this and you're thinking, I'm never going to find somebody to love. I just want you to remember, with a half of a step in any direction, sort of facing a positive change in how you approach dating, you're going to get there. The bar is low. The bar is low. So just be a little bit. This is what I say to people. This is what I tell actors. This is what I say. To be in the top 10% of great actors in the world, by the way, if there are 1,000 actors in Denver, Colorado, you just got to be better than 900 of them, which seems crazy, but here's how you're better than 900 of them. You show up on time, you know your lines, you read the script, and your jeans aren't ripped.
Oh, I didn't know ripped denim was a... I'm kidding.
In your brand, no ripped denim, ma'am.
Right. I was like, oh man, no, it doesn't work for me anymore. I do love a ripped denim, but no, it's not the correct branding anymore. I now get all the
casting.
Mom.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I get the mom roles now. So moms don't have ripped jeans.
Only the young hip ones.
Right. And I think my grays betrayed me and I'm not in that category anymore.
Yeah, but your grays are hot, so it's a nice category to have moved out of. This little silver. You've got Mike. I'm going to ask you this, even though it's sexist. Who's the X-Men woman with the
Storm?
gray hair?
No, stop! Don't do that. She's just yelling out characters.
She has white hair.
No, you're talking. You're talking.
You know who I'm talking about with the streak.
She's talking about Jean Grey, not Jean Grey.
The sexy one.
She's talking about Rogue.
Yeah. Oh, the only person I could think of with that is not a superhero. I was like, Stacey London from what not to wear?
Why?
Oh,
What?
She has like a
way hotter
silver streak.
No, way hotter. Okay,
wow,
let's get into business, because today is a little bit about timing, schedule, and all that. So what Victoria and I are doing is we are going to start updating you on the literal area that we are in the production process. So last week we told you about the rewrites and the rewriting process. And this week we're going to talk to you about production schedule, because I can't tell you honestly how often people say, oh, I want to make a project, and they just can't figure out where to start. And we know where to start, which is at the end.
Yes. At the end and working backwards. I remember when I talked to Jess and said, hey, I want to do one more pivot. Fancy me one more pivot. If we go back to doing the web series, I want to get that going, and I want to get on top of this and make it happen. And Jess was like, great. When do you want it in the can by? And I was like, oh, okay. So I picked a date and she goes, okay, great. And immediately the way that she turned into a beautiful mind, and all of a sudden I just saw numbers soaring in the air. I was like, damn near Matrix dodging them. Cause she's like, okay, so if you want the final cut in your hand by this date, that means we need this much time of post, and then we need this much time for, okay, how many episodes? 10? Great. Okay, so then if we're going to do this, so we do 5 here and then 5 here. So we do this.
You immediately got overwhelmed, didn't you?
I was staring. I basically just went mute, which is probably the quietest I've ever been. And I just went, huh, okay. So all of that sounds gorgeous. So when she finally worked backwards and went, oh, so we start, in like a month. Got it. Mm-hmm. I was like, can a bitch write real fast?
Do I have time for some rewrites?
Yeah.
So when I said November, because I think I also had an idea of everything is centered around, in my mind, because of Leo, centered around my birthday. So I was like, I would love to have something get started by August. And she was like, yeah, great. Because I feel like I always have these big shifts in my life around August every single time. Like I moved to LA in August. I usually quit a job in August.
Oh,
it always happens around August. So I was like, interesting. So yeah, so I feel very compelled with things happening in August.
Your birthday is a launch pad.
Always. It's the big catalyst.
Here's the thing. This is anytime anybody, and I've helped quite a few people pull any number of projects together, or any size of projects together. And honestly, maybe we'll even do an offshoot video of this, where I'll do a video where I talk people through how to figure out where to begin. But I'll tell you what, the second somebody comes to me with pages of anything or a project in general that they want to shoot on camera, the very first question I always ask is, when do you want the project handed over? Completed, finished, polished, perfect, handed over so others in the world can view it. And people will go like, well, I don't know. No. Right now, I always say that. No. Right now in your heart, there's a date. There's a date in your heart. Just pick it. Say it. You say it out loud because everybody always knows,
Right.
Mike has another podcast project that he's working on. And if I were to ask him right now, like, when do you want the thing in the can ready for people to listen to right now? You'd have a date in your heart that you could say out loud. People do. They know.
Maybe.
Oh, see?
Mm-hmm.
So it's all right. No, listen, Mike is a 2-woman man. Well, and Lucy, 3-woman man. He's only here for us.
Oh, got it. I was like, where are you going
Stitch,
with this,
please.
Jones?
and the homework.
There's a lot. There's a lot. I'm not.
Mike is.
I'm
Mike
not
is
a
on one
podcast
of those
guy.
He's on one of those comically long bikes with the multiple people to sit on it. He's on one of those.
Pretty much.
So whenever somebody comes to me with a project, I say, when do you want it in the can? And then there is I guess it's an algorithm or a calculation of working backwards. And I think, we should make a video showing this process. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know I said that I wanted it done,
Instagram
final cut.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted, and TikTok. I want it done by December. I remember I said, it was like end of November, like ready to be able to be like cut and start maybe doing some like a screening or something in December. And you're like, got it. And then the beautiful mind began.
This is the way. Well, the truth is, and I will say this unironically, I did learn how to do this process probably from some corporate training. It's SMART goals. It's setting goals. And the number one thing, actually, no. You know where I learned this process? I'm going to say it. I learned this process truly where it sank into my soul deeply when I planned my first wedding. And by the way, I've only had one wedding, so I don't know why I said first.
I was going to say, first is very specific language.
I would be like the 7 husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say Elizabeth Taylor. I'm like, man, what a doll.
Right? Yeah. If I could have I can't remember who I was talking to not too long ago, but I was like, I want 7 husbands.
That's so much money.
This gal looked at me and was like, you better get moving because you've only had one and you don't have that much longer to go.
Right. I was like, 7 is kind of untenable. You kind of need to start that in your 20s.
Yeah, that's a lot of
weddings. Can I please recommend The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo? It's a beautiful book. I do recommend it. I'm sure they're going to turn it into a TV show.
I barely wanted the wedding that I had. So,
damn.
Well, here's the deal. There are 3 things that you need to throw a wedding. Okay. You need a
groom
date
partner. Oh
no, you don't need. You can you can host a whole wedding without a partner. No,
actually, people do marry inanimate objects, so you ain't wrong there. Watch
all
TLC.
Yeah, all the time. You need a date, you need a location, and you need a guest list. That is film production, friends. You need a date, you need somewhere that you're going to do it, and you need to know who's going to do it with you. It's wedding planning.
Okay, I'm seeing your vision.
It's like that's a really pared down version. It's not the beautiful mind calculations. But the truth is, that's how I learned how to work backwards from that delivery date, which is how you get any goal done, is you say, okay, that's where I want to be. And then you have to start to make a plan of how you're going to get there. And by the way, pro tip, it's going to take 2 to 3 times longer than you plan.
Yes, I was going to say, I feel like most things would be that way, including, home renovations or anything. Everything's going to cost more than you think it is, and it's going to take longer than you think it is. But you'll never get there if you don't at least have some goalposts or some marks along the way of where you'd like to be at certain points. Because if it's all just loosey-goosey, then it'll always be loosey-goosey and you'll never land. on any
Yeah.
of those accomplishments.
No one runs a marathon without a finish line.
Right. It also makes it more tangible to do once you do the working backwards, like you're talking about. When you see these individual little markers of goals that you have to do, it makes it much more digestible for people to say, oh, by this date, I have to have this one thing done by, or these two things done.
Yes.
And then it's easier to build into the next pieces. But if you're like, I have to write the episodes and make a budget and then figure out what day we're going to start shooting. And then, oh, casting should happen at some point. And then, of course, I need a DP and then figure out the camera kit. Then you're going to drown, my dude.
Yeah. But if you say production, we're going to screen this project on October 31st, then I start building in, okay, how long is it going to take to edit? And by the way, you got to build in time for people to review that edit and give notes for additional editing. So that's the 2 to 3 times longer than you planned. So if you're planning,
coloring,
I can edit
and the ADR. Yeah.
I can edit something in a week. No big deal. Okay. But the color, the ADR, the sound, the overall look, there's a whole element of digitizing files so that they can be screened in certain formats. That takes time. So you build that into your post process. And then once you figure out, oh, okay, in order for me to have 8 weeks of editing and review and notes and sound and music and composition and credits and such, then I have to hand over all of the footage by August 30th, and which means if I have to hand over all the footage by then, I have to have all the ADR done before then. I have to have all of everything I was going to shoot in the can by August 30th. So this is the working backwards, and you break it down. Oh, I want to do at least 8 days of shooting, but you make sure that you have time to do 16. You won't do 16, you always have to build in buffers. Sure you have time.
Yes, because if you absolutely give yourself just the bare amount of time you think you need to shoot, you are going to mess that up. I'm sorry. Yep. Just there's too many variables in filming that happen when you're shooting not on even if you were shooting on a soundstage, which we're not, but if you're shooting on a soundstage, variables happen all the time. Don't start dealing with shooting on the weekends, going around people's schedules, shooting on location. What if there's delays because, I don't know, a fire truck goes by, or I don't know, it starts raining, just random things. There will be delays. Things will go wrong. So you don't want to say we're only shooting 5 pages a day for each of these, and then each weekend, and then that's all the time you've got. You have to build in buffers.
You do. I will never forget the hardest way I learned that lesson. I was shooting a web series that I'd written and ended up starring in and producing. And then my director bailed at the last minute and I had to direct it myself. I'd never recommend that. It was a nightmare.
Neat.
It's too much. Too many hats, too many jobs, and you can never do all of them well. I was the weakest link on set, which was disappointing because I wrote the project.
It's your thing, it was, right?
Yeah, I was starring
the way
in it,
that would crush my soul, which I know is why you told me don't direct this. I was like, I think I can manage it. You're like, cool it.
Yeah, well, because you'll do it, but when you show up on set, your mind won't be present in the scene. You won't do your best acting work. If you don't have you have to memorize inside and outside, up one side and down the other, because you cannot be searching for a line, because in between takes where you're kind of reviewing, you've got to give notes. You've got to take a look around. You've got to make sure that that the bathroom got unclogged because it's the only one the men can access from this side, as a producer and a director and an actor. So if you're going to do that, not on your first try out, don't do it. So all that to say, that's a different episode. I have to say this web series that we were shooting, I booked a great space for this location to shoot at. It covered at least 3 locations in 1 2-day shoot. Everybody could stay the night. It had 10 bedrooms. It was crazy. Really cool venue. Very, very affordable. We booked this home in Monument, Colorado. What I did not know about Monument, Colorado is that even though it was June 25th, it snowed 5 inches on my outdoor summer barbecue set.
Won't global warming do it? Look at that.
I never knew that could happen because of where it's where Monument sat in between the mountains of Colorado back when I was shooting this. It snowed 5 inches. Side note, it snowed 5 inches the minute we landed. So the snow was melting all weekend long. We couldn't shoot a single thing outdoors. The whole reason for booking this place, I think I lost like $1,100 in location fees. So what do? I book it again. And I'm like, no, there's no way on God's green earth that we'll have another delay because of snow. And we did
Wrong
not.
again. Oh, no. I was about to be like, it snowed twice.
Oh,
like,
yeah. I was about to be like,
twice.
aha.
Torrential downpouring rain.
There
Not
it is.
snow. 14 inches of rain. It started raining at 9 a.m. that Saturday morning, and it didn't stop raining until 5 p.m. on Sunday evening. At around 2 p.m. on Saturday, when it really started to look like nothing was going to change, that's where I broke down in tears, sobbing in front of 10 people that I had brought and spent this whole weekend building and putting together and feeding and housing and all that. That is when I started sobbing. Now, I will say It turned into a beautiful experience. We did have a great time, and we shot as much as we could, but who was that a learning experience for me?
For sure.
Which is
it's
like,
kind of,
you have to build in buffer time.
Oh, totally. No, it reminds me genuinely of how many attempts at shooting the teaser in sunny California. 3 different dates I picked. Torrential rain every single time. Record-breaking rain in LA every time I picked a date. It would be gorgeous and sunny the whole month. And I'd go, let's pick the 22nd. And all of a sudden, Mother Nature was like, you know what would make them laugh? If I just like gave the worst rain on, I'm feeling 22nd-y, like every single time. I was losing my mind to the point where Jess was like, are you okay? And I was losing it. I was like, this can't keep happening. What is going on? Why can't we shoot this shit? So yeah, whether you think you got it on lock, people picked the whole movie industry up and brought it to LA in the 20s because of the weather being perfect. You can shoot here all the time. Ha! You can't.
You can't. If it's not raining, it's on fire.
Totally. And I'm not the person that writes based on, I don't think about production first. My brain just will not let me. I've got to write just whatever I feel. So
what a gift.
Thank you. It's also such a curse because the amount of people that are like, why don't you just write something where it's just friends hanging out in an apartment? I'm like, my brain doesn't do that. Where's the fantasy sequence? I don't understand what you mean.
No one is scaling the side of a 16-story building. That's ridiculous.
What am I to do with that? Right. I definitely sent, this is such a sidebar, but I sent a script to a friend to read for a short film. And he goes, great story, but you have a car chase scene. I was like, yeah. And he goes, yeah. Do you know how expensive that is? I was like, can't someone just like drive next to me? He goes, you have them weaving through traffic, Victoria. I was like, oh my gosh, you're such a buzzkill.
Boo.
My brain just can't do it. So no. Yes, you have to plan in for all kinds of things when the creativity just won't let you scale it back.
And that's another great thing. Like one time we'll do some hot tips and updates on pivoting to make an unproducible project producible, especially on a shoestring budget. But definitely weather can blow up. Weather or schedules or, oh gosh, no matter what. And I did consulting on a project that shot over the summer. And I had to explain to this director, he really wanted to choose this location in Malibu. And those of you who are not Los Angeles based, Malibu is not close.
It's not convenient. No.
I
think people think, oh, just the beach. It's no. You don't just get to Malibu. No. You got to cut across the 10 and work your way up. And that takes a while. And you know who goes to Malibu? Fucking everyone. And it's a 2-lane road.
Yes. It's not forever. Easy to get to Malibu. And I had to tell this first time producer, when he chose this great location, which by the way, I backed him up on, I was like, this is the location. And also here's what's going to happen on your day of shooting. You have a crew of 10, you have 3 actors, or was it 4? It was 4 actors. I said, somebody is going to be late. So
For
you need a
sure.
plan for when everybody shows up on time. And then you need to be able to figure out how to pivot your scenes and change your schedule around when that one person who needs to be in that first scene is not there on time because someone's going to be an hour late. And he's like, an hour? I was like, oh, absolutely. Minimum. Maybe hour and a half getting out to Malibu. Like if it was like here in LA proper and everybody was coming from LA proper, you're going to be okay. There will be somebody who's at least like half an hour, 20 to 30 minutes late for sure. It always happens on these small sets. But asking somebody to go all the way, anybody who has to drive further than I'd say 35, 40 minutes, someone's going to be late. And everyone did that day. And someone was late and they had to pivot. But because we said you got to have a backup plan for that, which that's kind of the great part about producing is that you're constantly thinking, here's all the terrible things that are going to happen. How can we plan ahead for it?
Which is why you plan into oblivion. So that way, at least you're quasi prepared. If you just say, that's why there's so much planning involved with doing not only the production schedule, but also the shooting schedule. You have to do so much to keep yourself on track on the day of having a shot list of exactly what coverage. And you have it in your mind a little bit too of here's all the shots that we want to get. But really, just for story, we need these. These other ones are just kind of like nice to haves, you know, and you kind of have to you got to kill some darlings with that too and be prepared for it. But if you don't have a shot list and a shooting schedule to keep yourself accountable of time, you can just be shooting to your heart's content. You can lose light, especially if you're shooting outside. Oh, don't talk to me about losing light. The way
people don't think about that.
They really don't. And the sun changes so drastically. Once that bitch starts setting, the light and the color changes drastically. I think it's 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, something like that. The color in the sky changes.
I have to tell you,
never get it the same.
As you're sitting here talking about this, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, no wonder we're single. Look at how hard we have to plan ahead. In our whole life for disaster. All we do all day long is plan for disaster. You can't have a successful dating life that way.
It's like, do you even know what the sun's going to do to that shot? I can't focus on you.
He's like, do you want to get coffee at Phil's? And I'm like, are you kidding me? That parking lot at 8 p.m.? Are you crazy? Don't you know that's right by Susie Cakes and everybody is driving by to pick up cupcakes at that time?
Oh, Susie Cakes.
Girl, you need
Stay
to
focused.
Stay
focused.
All I said to Victoria earlier was like, see, there's a little cookie for everyone. We've lost her since I said cookie. Cupcakes, cookies.
In fairness. Yeah, it's like all I'm imagining is sugar now.
You know what though? You know what? You made me think. So this whole time that you were talking about that, what I was thinking about was it is the same thing. Making all of these plans and pivoting, it is just like finding a great partner. Like we're constantly digging deeper on like, why are you single? Why am I? You are such a damn catch. I would date you in a heartbeat. I basically do date you in a heartbeat.
It's like you're in my favorites. You're pinned on my text. You're in. You are in there.
People know who you are.
Polyamorous relationship at this point.
And here I thought I wasn't into it. Look at that.
No. You're super into it. People know who you are, Victoria, in my life who have never met you at all. And they talk about you to me like as if they know you. I'm like, you've never met her before. What? But I love it. I love it so much. Like
just read through the screen to them. Same. It was like my friends are literally like, how's Jess? How's it going? I'm like, oh my gosh.
You don't even know her.
It's so real. I was like, you've never met.
I did have somebody point out today. Today they were saying, wait a minute, you have a friend named Victor. Shout out to my buddy Victor, who will never listen to this podcast, but I love him anyway.
Fuck you.
And
because we can.
Yes.
You suck.
I'll never hear it.
You suck, Vic. You suck.
I like laying these little like bombs so that just in case one of my friends listens, they're like, what did you say about me? I'm like, I didn't know you were listening. Oh my God. Thank you so much.
That's how you'll know. Go, Hey, I got a problem with you. Oh, you do listen.
What? I'm so sorry. So
There we
his
go.
name is Victor. And this friend I was talking to was like, wait, that's not Victoria? You have a Victor and a Victoria? I was like, I do.
And now he and I must do cabaret.
Obviously.
We must do a Bob Fosse dance.
He would, first of all, he used to be like a child professional ballet dancer. He was, fun fact.
Why have you been keeping this from me? We absolutely can do a duet.
You could do it. He's so talented. Yeah. Okay. I'll call Victor.
Okay.
We'll make this happen.
Beautiful. Okay.
So back to making a schedule, making a plan, because that's what we're talking about. It doesn't just work in producing your projects. As we've learned from Tinderella, it also works in dating. So here's my challenge to you.
Oh.
Because we've heard the story now. We know what happened. We know you're a catch. We know you're a badass boss bitch who's out here making projects.
Thank you.
Girl, so if we're working backwards in dating, who's the dream? Who's the dream? And do you have the pinpoints so that you can work backwards and make sure that as we're going backwards through every single date and the wedding and the marriage, as your fantasy land is working you backwards to the point of meeting, you can manifest this. I know you can. I know you can because I know I can.
I mean, I know it's a vision. Yeah. Like I know the vision of what I want it to be. I've had to not manipulate. I've had to tweak it a bit because I always had the idea, which I think still with modern science is capable of having a couple of years of marriage or at least a year of marriage before having kids. Science gonna be with me on this one. But I want to
listen. Surrogates are still real and alive for now.
Facts. That's true. So we can at any time. But yeah, I know I can see the vision of the person being obviously funny, family oriented. I see them either thriving or working towards thriving because I don't need a finished product. I just need someone with a dream and a goal.
Nice.
That's all I ask. And I just want them to be passionate about something. So if they're passionate about the thing and they're actively working towards it, that's all the ingredients I really need to see in them, even upon first meeting, to get to that end goal of us both being at the top of our things, whatever that is for us. So that's all I really need to see.
If you got like hyper specific, because those are like beautiful broad paintbrush strokes. Like if you got hyper specific, you've got deal breakers. I mean, Mike's deal breaker, remember, he said, what is it? No lazy eyes. Mike was like, no lazy eyes. Deal breaker. Deal breaker.
I did not say that was my deal breaker. I just said it was someone's deal breaker.
You heard it here. Yes.
I feel like it was you, Mike. Like you're lucky Lucy's eyes.
No, you have to understand one of the things that my father told me back in the day. And I told Lucy this when we were dating, that my dad wanted to make sure that he didn't have to throw a stake to the back on the back porch. My father said that.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry, what?
He said
he didn't want to have to throw a stake on the back porch because she's a dog?
Yeah, he didn't. He was like, make sure she's pretty, son. I was like, okay.
Damn. Well, I told you same thing with my mom. She said, don't date someone. And then if you're not a little bit attracted to them, even a little bit, because if you learn to love an ugly person and you bring me ugly grandbabies, I'm going to be upset. And she said,
Black parents get real specific.
Peggy.
Yes. And she said and it's locked in my head ever since I think I was a teenager, which was protect your harvest.
That I really love. You said that to me once and I was
your
like,
harvest.
dang. Which if we unpacked that just even a slight little bit, I mean, at the end of the day, what you're really talking about is like, have some dignity. Now,
yes.
I want to be real clear about beauty standards and ugly baby. Like everybody is beautiful. We joke about the lazy. No, everybody, everybody is beautiful. It's just a matter of like who you're beautiful to, you know?
Right. Because I've seen and have dated very quote unquote conventionally attractive people, ugly inside. So agreed.
Yes. Yeah.
Agreed.
And here's the other fun thing. This is something I love, especially I grew up in, late 80s, early 90s is like my formative years. And there was so much messaging about being plus size, curvy, fat is ugly and bad. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's a lot of men and women out in the world who do not agree with that statement. But it's not the messaging that you hear on high from this like societal norms or Hollywood or news or whatnot. And
right.
I'll tell you, as a plus size woman, I've been a plus size woman my whole life. Even though we joke about finding a good one, the truth is there's a lot of them who are very attracted to all kinds of sizes and shapes and skin color and lazy eyes. It's out there. It's out there. Webbed feet. Some people are super into your webbed feet, Mike. Some
Great
people
callbacks.
will slid into our DMs.
Feet are not webbed.
He says, I'm kidding.
Still perpetuating the lie, huh?
Yeah, but for sure. Yes, agreed.
Yes.
People are always, there is truly somebody for everybody.
Yes.
And it really is a matter of who you vibe with. Because as we've said before, the looks can and will fade. So it's really about the person that you actually want to do life with, which again, I know you're talking about specifics in the way of what I imagine, I guess, maybe career-wise and stuff, but I have a very specific vision of my marriage that I saw it on Pinterest or Instagram or something, and I haven't been able to unsee it. When you come home and you have a Nerf fight with your husband, and I want it.
Oh, you can have that, girl.
I want a Nerf fight, and I want to have my, and I want my kids. Yeah. I want to have a house. We have a basement. I think I'm perpetually a child, and I want to have a house in a basement where we have the dual Mario Kart racing apparatus, like the machine you've seen in an arcade. And family time is me and my husband playing Mario Kart versus our kids. That's what I want.
Okay. First, I'm going to say this phrase, which I think is golden. More of this, please. More of this, please.
I just want someone I can play with.
I didn't know that you wanted that, but I have to tell you, I know how you can get that. I know you can. So everything that you're saying, like all this messaging is like, basically, like, you know exactly what you want. So if I'm working backwards, you're like, I need a man who's going to have a Nerf gun fight with me, which means on date one, that seed has to be planted. It's a non-negotiable for you.
Yeah, it is. I do look for the fun in people. If I don't see it, I'm like,
go to barcades. Then that's where the nerds are. They're play Mario Kart.
That's fair.
He's not wrong.
Well, I do love a barcade. I go to barcades.
You got to go to barcades. This is what I'm talking about. You got to pick one and be like, this is my spot. This is where this is my pond that I'm going to go fishing in.
Okay.
Right?
I see you.
Yeah, you can't go to the other ones because they take that shit too serious. Barcades is where you want to be.
This is exactly what I'm talking about, because you're reverse engineering this, like, the man, because there are, the picture is there. You're like Mario Kart, Nerf guns, kids, like check. And I'm telling you, this is something new that I've been practicing, and I'm telling you it's working. So I'm now out in the world. By the way, I'm going to do this for you too. And you're going to do this.
Yeah. I was like, and I want to hear yours too, but yes.
Yes, you will. Don't you worry. Out in the world, you're going to start looking for every single sign of the partner who behaves in the manner that you're like, that's my Mario Kart playing partner. You have to look for it. If you start looking for it, then you say more of that, please. You just say it. You just like say it out in the world. I know this is some like, voodoo, hoodoo, all that stuff. I am telling you, I know this works because it's worked for my career. You look at that and you go, you see some guy goofing around with a soccer ball and like hits himself in the face and laughs at it. More of that, please.
Yep.
Whatever
That's
it is.
How I knew the catalyst, as we've called him now for the show, wasn't my final boss, if you will, because I would talk about different silly things. And he was like, that's childish. Why do you want to do that?
Ew.
I was like, oh,
Bro, I hate people
no.
like that. Because I'm
I have to
I'm
tell
an
you-
eternal big ass kid. If you can't tell behind me, I'm an eternal. I love action figures. And like I hate that shit. Like go have some
I was
fun.
like, right, like don't shit on my stuff. I was like, why?
Yeah.
Why? It's like if
One of
I'm
the-
having fun with it, the same
Yeah.
way when people laugh really hard, they go, it wasn't that funny. I'm like, well, clearly I thought it was.
I told Lucy, I said, if I was to take you to Chuck E. Cheese for a date, how would you react?
Yo,
How would you adjust to that? She was like, well, what if I was driving? I was like, doesn't matter. I picked you up. I said, we're going to Chuck E. Cheese to have some fun, eat some pizza, go jump in some balls. That sounds weird. Don't jump into balls. But
No,
Always jumping into balls.
Yeah, you
We
got to
jump
do
into
it.
balls.
yeah,
Head
but
first.
the balls are
Dive
dangerous
in.
now. You don't know what's in there, baby.
Balls
I
have
know,
always been
germs.
dangerous.
I do want to
Balls
open.
have always been dangerous. Just
They
dive
have.
in nose first. Just
I do want to
swim
open
around in them.
an adult discovery zone.
See, that works. Isn't that what Dave and Buster's is?
There's no tubes.
Fair. You know what? You need
Oh.
the tube slides.
I need
Yeah,
tubes
yeah.
and slides.
You need the tube slides. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so
So,
on
Jen,
that,
yes.
I have been thinking about this. So I kind of surprised you with this, but I have been thinking about this for myself because there are a couple of things that I'm like, man, how come every time I meet a man, they're not behaving the way that I want them to. And I'm like, well, that's because my standards are too high, or I'm expecting these like kind of old fashioned things. No, there's two things that I realized were super important to me. And this is like such a minor thing, but I wanted to know that I want, at the long run, the person that I picture myself with is somebody that is looking out for me just a little bit better than I look out for myself, because inherently I've gotten this far down the road. And as my friends know, not so great at resting.
Nope. Sure aren't.
Okay. So as my friends know, not so great at resting, not so great at backing down from a challenge and like taking it easy. I don't treat my body like I only have one and this is it. Like I treat my body like let's fucking go, I'm like out salsa dancing and lifting and like climbing and running down the beach, and then I get injured all the time. So it is important. I don't need a mommy or a daddy. I just need somebody who's like, hey, have you considered maybe just taking the afternoon off? Because I'll do it. I just sometimes need that little reminder, and that's care. So I realized what that is. It manifests itself in a very micro way. When I'm walking down the stairs or walking through a door or stepping off a curb, I think there's nothing sexier on the planet than the person that I'm with turning back and holding their hand out.
Yes.
And I do this when I'm hiking or I'm out with a group or whatever, and we climb down a certain like kind of crazy I'll turn back and be like, I got you. Come on down. You're safe down here. It's a sign. And when I started to realize like it was that for me or nothing, then I go out on these first dates and it's not there. I just don't go again. That's it.
And
I'm
that's
like,
not,
no
yeah,
time.
that's just something that's innate in them or not,
Yeah.
whether they do it or not. It's not, you shouldn't, because having to ask for it, some will do it. I think some will for sure. If you say, hey, this is something that I really appreciate. And it's something that feels nicer is when it's kind of within them already,
It's almost like you got to live your own life and you got to do your own thing. And I can take care of myself just fine. I've done it for a long time. So therefore, it's so beautiful to have somebody when, walking in front of you who turns back and is like, I got you. If just a little, I don't need you to carry me. Just a little, like, here's a hand in case you need it for support. Little.
Lovely.
When I started to say more of that, when I started to see that behavior, I started to say more of that, please, more of that, please, more of that, please. It's coming.
Beautiful.
It's coming in. So
yeah. Okay, so that's yours.
I don't know. We're getting better. More of that, please.
Yeah. I think over time you keep spotting more and more of what you do and don't like. So yeah, like with Doc, wasn't getting the fun. I was like not catching a vibe. Also, this ain't fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It's a no for me, dog.
You know what, Mike? You said this best too when you were talking about it. A fun person isn't fun because they go and do fun things. That's not what makes a person fun. I think what makes a person fun is that if you're having fun, they're having a good time because they're watching you have a good time. and reverse. It's back and forth. It's reflected. So if you take Lucy to Chuck E. Cheese and she watches you having the very best time throwing skee balls down the lane and dancing with the mouse.
I don't care if she's having fun. I'm having fun. That's all that matters to me.
But what makes her a great partner is that she watches you. She watches you having a great time. She has her eyes on you having a great time. And she, on the inside, and I know this because I love Lucy. I know Lucy and I love Lucy. She watches you having a good time, and that makes her feel good and have a good time. Look at us being wholesome.
But
work backwards.
I'm always
going to
have fun
friends.
no matter what.
Mike, this is not the point. Okay. I just landed a really golden moment. Okay.
Right. Mike is like, fuck that bitch. I'm having fun regardless.
Mike, this is not the messaging today. Today is the messaging of if you want a partner who's going to have fun and shoot Nerf guns at you, then look for the ones who celebrate the fun in you. That's where that's where we're landed today.
Oh, there it is.
Sure.
Did you hit the mic?
If that's what you really want it to be, that's fine too. We can go with that.
Thank you. Okay, listen, that's enough. That's enough of that. I think now's a great time for us to talk about my favorite segment, which is your smiling faces moment of the week. What have you grinned and bared it through? And I must say, I have to shout out to our listeners too. If you've had a smiling faces moment this week, we want to hear it. Respond, reply, slide into our DMs. We're open to it. And let us know what your smiling faces moment of this week is. And I want to know, Mike, what is your smiling faces moment of the week?
Well, this week would be WrestleMania week and WrestleMania weekend. So everything else except wrestling, I grinned and bared it through.
Fair enough. Beautiful.
Mike doesn't care about anything but wrestling.
Not during WrestleMania week. Hell no.
No, not during WrestleMania. No, I support this wholeheartedly. Who are we screaming for? Who are we excited about?
Oh my, there's so many. There's so many. There's a triple threat between Roman Reigns and CM Punk and
everybody loves CM Punk.
Seth Rollins. CM Punk is great. Like, I don't know. It's gonna be a hot weekend. It's gonna be in Vegas. So like I've been trying to get there. We just got back from Maryland. So like we don't have time to do it. Last year, when they were in LA, we went to WrestleMania for the weekend, flew back home that Sunday. So this year we left, we're coming back right before we got back Thursday and we just got back just in time for WrestleMania so I can watch it here in my own home, but not going to get a chance to get to Las Vegas. So
dang.
I don't know nothing about wrestling since Stone Cold Steve Austin.
When Stone Cold Steve Austin left, that's when Victoria left.
I was like, that's it, guys. I'm out.
Victoria, what's your smiling faces moment of the week?
Mine is that I had another self-tape to do because shout out to my reps. And there is something going on in my neighborhood. One, there's a lot of dogs, but there's some sort of siren that randomly goes off and all the dogs feel the need to howl at said siren. It happens at night. And it's usually going off once I have a self-tape. It doesn't happen until my ring light is up, my phone is mounted, and my finger is hovering over record. And all of a sudden, woo, oh. And I was like, I have such limited time. Please don't do this. It only happens when I have to do self-tapes. I swear to God. And then someone's car alarm went off. So I just stood patiently and waited for 15 minutes until my neighborhood finally got silent. And then I crushed my self-tape. If they don't call me, I'm going to be pissed because I feel like I ate that.
They're going to call you. They're going to call you. You heard it here first. Yes. This work is yours. We're manifesting hard today.
Big time. What about you, Jess? What's your smiling faces moment?
My smiling faces moment is I almost got a new parking spot. I live in Los Angeles. Parking is just as important as rent. You have to have a little house for your car to sleep in at night. And I have a great parking spot, but my God, it's really far away. And if you listened a couple episodes ago, there is a neighbor that just finds every excuse to talk to me. And it's not pleasant ever. And so I got a message from my complex that said, everyone is going to move their parking spot. You must only park in this parking spot that is labeled with the same number as your apartment number. And my parking spot is not labeled with the same number as my parking number. So I was like, yes, I'm going to move to this parking spot with my number. And I went into the office and I was like, this is great news. I already cleaned out the storage above my parking. I'm ready. What do you need from me? And she said, oh no, honey, we're just moving the numbers. We're just moving the numbers around. We're going to put your apartment number over top of your parking spot.
The way they're like, oh, actually not you.
honey. And I was like,
all that work.
All that just to say, exciting news. We're repainting numbers. Just say that.
Like, why'd you even tell me?
Right. Y'all could have kept that information to yourself. Don't announce that.
No. Listen.
Crazy work.
Anyway, we love to park our cars, but we love it more when you park your cars at Victoria's improv show. Tell them where they can see you, girl.
Yes, my team, collectively affirmative reaction, but individually the women's team is Idris's Elbas and the men's team is Regina Kings. We're having an improv show Saturday, May 3rd at 7 p.m. at the Broadwater Theater under the hit comedy umbrella. And we're also doing an improv show at the Improper Parlor Monday, May 5th at it's at 8 o'clock. My call time 7:30. You don't have to be there at 7:30. I do.
They should come at 7:30 though, because everybody's always late in Los Angeles. So
true. Come at 7:30. Yep. And it's a whole parlor feel that they do where you come in and there's music. And if you feel the need to come and sing a song while the music plays, you can. So why not come early?
Wow, that's lovely. Well, and if you want to come see me, you can see me anytime you want on our Instagram page. See how I did that?
Schmooze.
You can find us on Instagram at smilingfaces_series. You can find us on TikTok at smilingfaces_series. You can find us on Facebook at Smiling Faces Series, no underscore. And you can find us on YouTube, www.youtube.com/@Smiling Faces Series.
We also have an official website. It's smilingfacesseries.com. Shout out to our fiscal sponsor, Inclusivity Media. And of course, producer Mike Bryant and Defiantly Me Productions.
Lazy eye loving, web feet toting Micah Bryant, producer extraordinaire.
Web feet toting is crazy.
It's fucking diabolical is what it is, because none of it is true.
But it's already on the airwaves.
Everything on the internet
Lucky I have
real.
editor control.
He gonna keep it in. Probably.
Everybody stay safe out there and have a great weekend.
Bye.